the woke people being consumed by radical Islam once again. No one's surprised, especially not me. This is Bill Burr. Bill Burr has been going on a tear. Bill Bald has been going wild, mega woke, anti-Trump, anti-ICE, anti-deportation. He's been anti-everything that is even remotely right-wing. He's mega lame and gay. And to no one's surprise, he did a concert at a wonderful place called Saudi Arabia, known for woke policy. And he's been getting absolutely destroyed by the right and also by the left. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's much to our surprise. So he said, I had to stop a couple of times during my show and say, I'll be honest with you guys, I can't fucking believe you have any exchange who I am. It was just a great exchange of energy. They know the reputation, so they were extra friendly. Wow, it was a great experience to experience that part of the world and to be part of the first comedy festival over here in Saudi Arabia. The royals loved the show. Everyone was so happy. The people that were doing the festival were thrilled. Wow, one of the top 3 experiences he's ever had in his entire life. So brave. Obviously, people are taking this very well. Look at the comments, for example. Who knew Shane had more spine than you? Why are you going there? That's how they raise money. Their filthy oil money. Bill on Saudi Arabia in 2011. Congrats on destroying your career. Really thought Bill had integrity. Sell out. You just keep going. It doesn't stop. You broke our hearts, Bill. Damn, Bill, I looked up to you. Are you really that money hungry? It keeps going. Have you some shame, man? Rat emoji. Blood money Bill. Bill, the Saudi shill. Yep. And it does. You get the idea. People did not take this super well. Now, again, he's a fraud. Now, it took this for the leftoids to realize he's a fraud, but I figured out he was a fraud a long time ago. You see, I have a fraud detection skill. If you are a deeply immoral, demonic piece of shit, you're probably not a good guy in other contexts, too. Now, Saudi Arabia is known for not being very pro-free speech. In fact, they execute people that speak badly against the government, as an example. So, this is something that Bill Burr said one time. Some comments were transparent about their willingness to ignore their moral convictions in order to play at the festival. So what? They have slaves, asked Tin Dillon in a podcast segment that led to his firing from the festival. They're paying me enough money to look the other way. Pete Davidson offered a similar take, acknowledging in a chat with Vaughn that people have had asked him why, given his father's death on 9/11, would he take a paycheck from the Saudi government. He did not address the criticism directly, but he did suggest he was happy to forget 9/11 for the right price. I just know I get the routing, then I see the number, and I say I'll go. This is what Bill Burr used to say before he married a radical leftist, and now he himself has become a radical leftoid. Now, a lot of people say, Nux, you could be a leftist and you could be moral. You can't, is the reality. I'm sorry if you're a leftist and you're hearing this. Maybe you just are unaware of what's actually going on. You can't, actually, it turns out. Turns out if you are part of the party that supports baby murder and child castration, no, you can't, actually, it turns out. I'm sorry. I don't want to be rude. I'm sure some people are going to get turned off by that. You can't. So anyway, much to our surprise, this is what Bill Burr had to say when he flew into Saudi Arabia. Burr's nervousness crept back, but he was struck by the amount of local Western influence. You think everyone's going to be screaming death to America and they're just going to have, like, machetes and chop my head off, right? Burr said. Bro, no one thinks this. Because that's what I've been fed about that part of the world. Bro, you are literally running propaganda. You claim to be a leftoid. The people in Saudi Arabia execute gay people in the street. They execute people for criticizing the government in the street. Okay? Again, that's Saudi Arabia. Now, they're better than most of the other countries in the Middle East because at least they don't, they banned the Muslim Brotherhood. But, I thought this place was going to be, like, really tense. And I'm thinking, is that a Starbucks next to a Pizza Hut, next to a Burger King, next to McDonald's? They got Chili's? The ignorant white guy. I'm telling you, to quote Charlie Kirk, one of the wisest men of our generation who was taken way too soon, Islam will be the sword. The leftists will be the sword that Islam uses to slit the neck of America. Now, I don't think that every Muslim is like this, obviously. I've said this a million times. Obvious disclaimer, obvious. Obvious disclaimer is obvious. But the reality is, radical Islam is big. There are a lot of them, and they want to kill you, and they say it themselves, and it's in their holy books, and you are whitewashing them, and you are making believe. He also had a statement where there's more free speech in Saudi Arabia than in America, because Trump got Jimmy Kimmel suspended for 2 days. Jimmy Kimmel was suspended by a network because they wanted to suspend him. In Saudi Arabia, they will execute you for anything. Now, I knew this a very long time ago. This is a clip of Bill Burr from just a year ago.
Yeah, they
Well,
brought
they brought it back a couple of times, and they went with cheaper leather.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because some corporate cunt had to give himself a fucking bonus check at the end of the year. What if we made it worse, but made it look the same?
Yeah.
Then could our pools be bigger?
All right, good criticism.
Not
Free
okay.
Luigi!
Yeah,
Luigi's a terrorist, for the record, in my opinion. Luigi is a guy that murdered a healthcare CEO. Not a good guy, for the record. I don't like the healthcare CEO that he murdered. But he just murdered a guy because he disagreed with him in public. He just went out in broad daylight and murdered a man for no reason. Well, or at least for a reason, but that's what makes him a terrorist, in my opinion. You're a retard. You support extrajudicial killings. You support the murder of people who you disagree with. You are a leftoid, immoral, scumfuck. I'm really glad we're on the same page. Now, I always knew this. This was Bill Burr going on The View, right? You'd think he'd be making fun of the actual quacks on The View. No.
I don't know. It's a weird time, but I just feel like someone needs to bring the boiling water down to a simmer, and everybody on both sides. Like if you watch CNN, Fox, you go online, or you listen to politicians, it's all out. And then you walk out on the street, and someone's like, "Hey, how you doing?" You're like, "Good." So I don't think they're living in like a reality.
But is there any?
I remember when a leftist murdered Charlie Kirk, and then another several thousand leftists celebrated the murder of Charlie Kirk. Do you remember that? I remember that. Do you remember that? I remember that.
Anybody getting your ire up these days more than usual?
Nerds.
Yeah.
The nerds that own the
tech
politician.
nerds.
All these tech nerds that want to build robots because they don't know how to talk to hot women.
Yeah.
They're gonna take over the world. They're gonna take over.
That's funny. That's funny. Let's see if he takes this momentum and becomes retarded.
They are literally gonna replace us. We're like beta right now, and they're coming out
Yeah,
with.
so you got the right-wing replacement theory. People opening the borders to flood our countries with immigrants to replace us. And then you get the left replacement theory. The elites are making robots! Yep.
Like the VCR. And I think Elon has got the rockets going because they realize there's other Earths out there, and they're gonna trash this one, and because they don't have any concern for it, and they're gonna move on to the next Earth, and everybody's gonna be standing down here with your blue and red ties, going, "Wait a minute, I was on your side," and they're just gonna leave.
But you were talking about death in your.
Yeah. That's definitely what the elites are trying to do. Absolutely. Elon Musk bought Twitter because he is trying to travel to another Earth after destroying this one. Sir, did you forget your penis in your other pants? What is going on?
Said, do they not realize that they're going to die? These people, they don't realize that they eventually.
What is that about all religions? Well, they always talk about a wrathful God and will send you to hell, and it's like none of you guys are operating like you fear this the way you run your religion. So I don't.
Unless the people that are running the religion and support the not murder of 1 million babies a year, for example, in America alone, maybe those guys are actually fighting for good. And you think that those people are evil because you are so subscribed to the cult of Moloch and supporting the genocide a year of 1 million babies and the castration of thousands of children. You're so busy supporting that you don't realize that you're the bad guy.
I don't understand any of that. I'm just trying to be like chill.
Right, so he doesn't understand any of that. He's like, haha, la lamau, if you believe in God, you're stupid. And also, the rich people are creating robots to replace us while they move to Super Earth so that we could die in old gay Earth. This is an unbelievable downfall. An unbelievable downfall. It's crazy. Imagine if someone told you 10 years ago Bill Burr would appear on The View, and instead of roasting them hilariously to their faces, he would spend the whole time politely agreeing with them. This is like an unbelievable downfall. Now, I knew this for a long time because he subscribed to the cult of Moloch, and every single time he goes on another show, it becomes lamer. So I am not even remotely surprised he caved to the Saudis. You know why? Do you know why? Because the entire comedy world is caving to the Saudis. Because the Saudis are rich as shit, and they're paying them, and they are literally buying influential people in America. I'm not even remotely surprised by this. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I do not support any foreign money coming into America for propaganda or education purposes. None. And that includes Israel allegedly paying influencers $7,000 per post like you see everywhere on social media. Or Qatar funding 250 different Republican influencers to start pushing Qatar propaganda, which was, by the way, proven. This was a verified fact that a lot of people don't talk about, right? So this is, new lobbying. Qatar targeted 250 Trump influencers to change U.S. policy. Or what about Iran funding Tucker Carlson's new program? No one likes to talk about an Iranian guy giving $1 billion to several $1 million to Tucker Carlson. No one cares about that. And it's all of them. It is literally all of them. It's every single one of them. I don't want any foreign money coming into the country at all. Anyway, here's what Bill Burr had to say about Elon Musk.
Well, it's a positive time, Jimmy.
Yeah, it really is.
Billionaires are not happy having $1 billion.
That's right. Everyone's favorite resident poor, Bill Burr, is making fun of billionaires.
What is Elon Musk dressed?
It was $30 million for Tucker, whatever it is. It's fuck you money that none of us will ever have.
It's like he just... All right, thank you. My God. Why does Elon Musk dress like he just got out of a Hot Topic? I am so
Incredible fake laugh.
sick of that guy trying to rewrite his origin story like he was Matthew McConaughey pulling into the high school. It's like you were a nerd, nobody banged you, and now you have hair plugs and
You want to talk, brother?
and your laminated face. No, and everybody is afraid of these nerds. I don't get it. My whole life, feminists were focusing on frat boys and guys with their hats on backwards, and they left the nerds alone. And now look at them. Well, it's a positive.
Yeah, for the record, Bill Burr is a poor. He's not like Elon Musk. He's poor. His net worth is only $25 million, so he's a poor. Don't misunderstand. He's a poor. He definitely needed those millions from Saudi Arabia to keep him afloat. Now, a lot of people are freaking out that Bill Burr actually went to Saudi Arabia to do a show, to dance in front of the royals, and to basically launder their reputation as much as they possibly can. And people are surprised that he fell off. I always knew he fell off. I'm sorry. You've already fallen off. You have already, with all due respect, subscribed to evil, in my opinion. Multi-millionaire socialist, retard over here. Don't care. So anyway, he went to propagandize and say that there's more free speech in Saudi Arabia than in Trump's America, when he literally had to sign a 100-page long contract forbidding him to make fun of specific things in Saudi Arabia at threat of execution. Are we on the same page? Also, Mr. Laminated Face over here. Look at his own face, Mr. Laminated Face. How dare you? Bro, look here. I'll make it smaller so you can see it. Bro, his face is pretty laminated too. All right, with all due respect. So, anyway, too lazy to try. He's a guy that makes videos about, like, comedians and stuff, like Joe Rogan and the new comedian sphere. So, I'm excited. Let's see what we got. The phenomenon is truly fantastic. We are making fun of cucks on this channel because it's gross, and because we actually do have values. All right, if you don't have values and you're watching, I appreciate you being here, and I pray for you that you'll find values, because otherwise you might end up like Bill Burr.
Beyonce and Mariah Carey actually did private New Year's gigs for $1 million. Did New Year's gigs for Gaddafi's kids. Can you fucking believe that? How much money do you need to make, you know?
How much money do you need to make, says Bill Burr, the guy worth $25 million. How much money do you need to make?
You're going to take a gig where you're going to go dance like a goddamn fucking clown for a mass murderer's kids?
Really?
Then you take
You're gonna do that? I can't believe it. The disrespect.
fucking blood money. And what he's done, you couldn't remember that he...
To be clear, by the way, if he wouldn't have had a history of, like, the really gay virtue signaling shit, I wouldn't even care if he did it. Yeah, I'll be real. I know a lot of people are mad at him and people aren't going to agree with this take. If he would have been like, I'm in it for the money, I'm doing it, I don't actually give a shit about virtue signaling in general, so I'm just going to do it, I honestly would not care. It's just, it's always the virtue signalers that do it. It's always the people that have so much empathy that, like, man, I just hate to be in America where there are billionaires and the billionaires are suppressing freedom of speech. You're really gonna stand on your ivory tower yelling about Trump and you are going to dance in front of Saudi royalty? Like, give me a break, dude. Oh my lord. America's fascist. Anyway, I'm gonna go to radical Sharia law in Saudi Arabia, where they still have slavery and public executions for speech.
Claimed he was behind the Pan Am bombings that killed fellow Americans. The fuck is wrong with you?
The Royals loved the show. Everyone was happy. The people that were doing the festival were thrilled. And, it was just this great positive thing. And I got to tell you, just to be a part of that was fucking amazing. And the comedians that I've been talking to just saying, like, dude, you can feel it. They wanted it. So, it was a mind-blowing...
I hope you enjoy being bought. You are a toy. You are a toy to the Saudi royalty. I hope you're happy, because you virtue signaled against this kind of thing for a very long time.
It's definitely top 3 experiences I've ever had.
That's really sad. Does he have kids? Probably not. He's part of the Moloch cult, let's be real. He's married for how long? Let's see it. Does he have kids? Does Bill Burr have kids? Bro has 2 children. Let me get this straight. Dude has 2 children and a wife, and their births and his marriage were not his top 3. Dancing in front of Saudis was in his top 3. Being at his child's birth and his own wedding did not make his top 3. All right, I'm glad we're on the same page.
All right, so after...
by the way, these are people that are praying to the church of money, the church of clout. That's what he is praying to. He does not believe in family. And that is why, as much as you want to shit on conservatives, conservative values will always be superior. Always. Every single time. Every time. Conservative values win because they are based on a moral system that was designed 3,000 years ago, and to this very day, it is still the best moral system that ever existed anywhere in the world. And that's crazy. You don't even have to believe in God to recognize the fact that the biblical values that are like get married, have kids, build a household, leave a legacy, build the best lives. You don't even need to believe in God to recognize that this builds the best lives.
Years of Bill Burr trashing celebrities for taking blood money and railing against billionaires and ranting about wealth inequality.
I hate billionaires, he says after going to a billionaire Saudi oil prince.
He decided to go to Saudi Arabia and accept money from the royal family, who are known for using modern slave labor, which he's being paid not to mention and help cover up. When he got back.
That's right, because he has a giant contract of things that he's not allowed to say. Pretty weird.
He only talked about how amazing Saudi Arabia was.
We just have a shout out to white people in America who, by the way, based on Christian ethics, decided to abolish slavery. Can we just recognize that slavery was abolished because of white people pushing Christian ethics? Says this guy who hates religion and hates Christians. Can we just remember that for a second?
So he went from saying billionaires need to be put down like rabid dogs.
Oh shit, I didn't know he went that far. Yeah, billionaires need to be put down by rabid dogs, but not before they pay me their blood money.
To taking money from a trillionaire family that's known for human rights violations and modern slavery, and will kill citizens that speak out against them. So I don't think it gets more hypocritical than that. But as we know, obviously money talks, and it turns out Bill will drop his morals and destroy his reputation and credibility for $1.5 million. And now he's just getting cooked for it. People are so pissed at him. And everyone doing the festival. Like, this is...
The best part is he already pissed off, like, the right-wing people because they saw him get completely cucked to, like, the woke bullshit. And now even the leftist people can't stand him because, like, the blatant... Like, what do you even do about this level of hypocrisy? It's like, dude, death to all the billionaires! Anyway, I'm gonna go dance in front of a trillionaire royal family in Saudi Arabia that has modern-day slaves and that executes women for having their hair uncovered in public. It's like, okay, dude. Like, what do you even do? Bro, I wouldn't sell my morals for $1.5 million. Like, you'd need to offer at least $10 million for me to sell my morals. I'll be honest. I'll be real. If it's lower than 10 mil, all right, it needs 7 zeros to sell my morals. All right, I'm just saying. Less than 10 mil, I would never sell my morals for less than 10 million.
Become a pretty big controversy, but out of everyone, Bill was definitely the most shocking for people.
Oh my God, wait, all of these people went there? No way. Dave Chappelle, Andrew Schultz, Fluffy? Bro, Kevin Hart, everyone went. They're literally buying you. They are buying you. You are their meat puppets. You dance for them. That's amazing.
I mean, I don't think anybody is that surprised to see Tom Segura and Andrew Schultz taking the gig. So Bill, he's taking the most shit for this, especially because of how hard he's just trashing the ruling class not too long ago. Like, I don't know how you could go from saying billionaires need to be put down to taking money from the Saudi royal family.
Yeah, because those billionaires weren't giving him money, and these billionaires are giving him money.
In less than a year. And it's not like Bill's career was falling apart and he desperately needs the money. I mean, he's already loaded.
In new perspectives, there's nothing wrong with being a billionaire, but if somebody is working 40 hours a week, 160 hours a month, and they can't make their rent, you're not paying them enough money. Maybe you should just be worth $900 million. Like, how does a CEO take a 8-figure bonus and none of your employees have dental insurance?
Dude, I don't want to get into, like, debating capitalism through a computer with a comedian. So, I actually, whatever, because no one actually cares, but I'm going to give you the Nuxanor moral system for just a second. To run defense for the CEOs, which I don't think need my defense, if they get sued in a lawsuit, they lose everything, all right? The amount of stress on the head of a CEO is unbelievable, and the amount of stress on the head of a janitor is, quite frankly, not as high. So, they take these bonuses for themselves in a company that they built with stuff that they created, and while I agree, most of them are probably pieces of shit, it's their ship, and they have the right to steer it wherever they want. And you do not have to work for them. No one is forced to work for the CEOs. That's one. Two, The Nuxanor moral system, once again, very much follows the basic tenets of the Bible. I have to make a separate video on this. That's going to be too long for this one. All right, sorry. This one's gonna be too long. But essentially, according to the Bible, if you buy something, you own it, and there is ownership, and ownership does exist. However, in the Bible, there's also clauses that say your loans and debts are forgiven every 7 years. It says it in the Bible. And also, you're supposed to give certain amounts to charity. 10 to 20% of your income goes to charity, or 10% of your crops go to the poor, and stuff like that. So there is like a built-in social system in a hyper-capitalist society, right? For example, interest is illegal according to the Bible. You're not allowed to lend interest or take interest on loans, And so it is a hyper-capitalist system where ownership is absolutely true, but at the same time, there are safety nets that don't destroy you in the long term. It's kind of crazy, right? Isn't that kind of insane? Isn't it kind of insane how they figured that a while back?
Can't even go out and get a filling.
Tired of hearing about people going to bed worried about what's going to happen next week. There is so much fucking money.
Bro, you're worth $25 million. It's so frustrating, man.
In this country. And there's so much work being done, And if you work a full fucking week.
So why is it that the leftoid empaths statistically give way less money to charity than the conservatives, right? The selfish, evil, conservative capitalists, every single one of them gives more charity than the leftists. It's a statistical fact. If you look it up in the United States, it is a statistical fact that there is a massive increase of amount of charity given by conservatives than by liberals. Like, why does it work that way?
At a job, you should be able to pay your fucking rent.
I agree. That would be really nice. Oh well, I guess. Like, what do you want me to say? You virtue signaling from your soapbox in your podcast is not changing the life of anybody.
To go out and get a fucking job and still be struggling. It's bad for the country. At least these fucking billionaires.
Yeah, so maybe let's not bring in illegal immigrants that are paid tax-free funds in cash under the table for cheap so that they could do the slave labor so that it cuts jobs for people that are actually in our country, right? What do you think? What do you think, bro? I think that's a pretty good idea.
They need to be put down, like fucking rabid dogs. They're like rabid with fucking greed.
Wow.
And just going out and just dividing everybody. So
I have a feeling we probably won't hear him talk like that anymore.
No. It's over. He's cooked. I think he lost everything. His entire fake persona of random bullshit, that's over. But in case you wanted some Bible verses, because some people in my chat were saying that that's not true, give me the Bible verse. I'm not looking them all up individually. Bible verse for loans getting forgiven every 7 years. Because it's a real thing. All right, Deuteronomy 15:1. At the end of every 7 years, you must cancel your debts. This is how it is to be done. Every creditor shall cancel any loan they made to a fellow Israelite. They shall not require that's the culture back in the day. They shall not receive payment from anyone from their own people, because the Lord's time for canceling debts has come. All right. Now interest. All right. If you lend money to one of your people among you who is needy, you shall not be like a moneylender. You shall not charge him interest. All right. Now verses for charity. Whoever is kind to the poor, lends to the poor, the Lord will give them back. All right, whatever. That's a whole list, okay? That's a big one. All right. How about this one? What about tithes to the poor? Old Testament. All right. At the end of every 3 years, bring all the tithes of that year's produce stored in the towns, so that the Levites. Okay, that's a long one. But essentially, and they will give it to those people. When you finish setting aside a tenth of your produce in the 3rd year for the tithe, blah, 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 blah. All right, so anyway, it's a hyper-capitalist system with safety nets. And that's what I actually subscribe to personally. Instead of this random soapbox yapping bullshit, just sitting there on your podcast, sitting there and yapping about how, actually, it's really sad that poor people can't afford things. Anyway, I'm not going to do anything about it, but I am going to complain for clout. Yeah, so anyway.
And if he does, everyone's just going to clown on him. There's no way people will take him seriously. I mean, he's just shameless, and he must have thought people wouldn't have really paid attention to the festival, and it wouldn't have been that big of a deal, because this is such a bad look. And it was kind of under the radar until a few weeks ago when other comedians started calling them out. And then this clip of Shane Gillis went viral where he was talking about how he's turned down multiple offers. And now this story has gotten a ton of attention and everyone's commenting on it.
Including me! The blue retard.
People are really disappointed in Bill Burr, especially.
Everyone's like, yeah, you should do it. Everyone's doing it. It's like, for Saudis?
Yeah.
Weren't those the 9/11 guys? Felt like exactly the 9/11 guys?
Now, there's a lot of drips,
Awkward.
killjoys, and dweebazoids who are saying, oh, they shouldn't do comedy over there because it's whitewashing a regime that just in June killed a journalist and killed Jamal Khashoggi and played a big role in 9/11. Shut up. Name one comedian who hasn't whored themselves out to a dictator.
Incredibly lonely it can feel to look around and see people you used to admire and respect cave and show up in Saudi Arabia to take a check and abandon even the most basic principles they always claim to hold. These people have failed to employ the most basic common sense and critical thinking, and others have decided to cynically accept money in exchange for whitewashing and BS. At the same time, these same people claim to be progressive here in the United States.
I have to tell you, I really think that Bill Burr sort of fucked up here, bro. I really think he
This is like a radical lefty. He pissed off the lefties. The right always hated him because he pushed the bullshit, random Moloch cringe. But the left can't stand him either because he's just a blatant hypocrite.
fucked up. This person said, hey, did you know that Bill Burr is going to the Saudi Arabia Comedy Festival?
Oh, no.
The Riyadh Comedy Festival. And I said, that can't be true. No. That's not true. Is it? No.
But he's my woke leftoid. But he supports social programs. But he says Trump bad. There's no way he would do that.
Not true. Come on. Turns out it is, y'all.
They've sold their soul. They've sold their ability to talk about shit. You're fucking hypocrites now. And everything you say is to be looked at through the lens of taking millions of dollars from slave owners.
Pretty weird. It's pretty weird. Now, to be clear, a lot of people do this shit. A lot of them. And it gets... I know that Tucker Carlson was paid by Qatar to go and basically do, like, these lowball interviews with all the leaders there. Like, dude, what are we even doing? He was paid by Iran to interview the leader of Iran to, like, do this lowball interview. Bro, you want to run propaganda for other people? Don't be a hypocrite, all right? That's the bar. Okay, that's the bar. Selling your soul for money? Sure. Betraying your country? Whatever. But don't be a hypocrite. Don't be a virtue signaler. Oh, my. Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, the little ass biters are going to keep biting.
Also, obviously, part of the...
Supreme Leader of Iran, not the Supreme Leader of Iran, the President of Iran, or whatever his status is. He did an interview with Tucker Carlson where basically he was like, we love America. We say death to America because we actually hate the institution of the imperialism. And Tucker Carlson was like, yes, and just institution, imperialism, foreign wars, foreign conflicts. And I'm just like, all right, dude. No, they say death to America because they want to kill us. Yep, they call our country the Great Satan because they want to kill us. Yep, it's in the book. It's in their holy book. It's in the holy book. Anyway.
The deal for these free speech warrior comedians is they can't say anything bad about the Saudi family, culture, government, religion,
That's right.
And I'm sure a ton of other stuff.
Free speech, except they can't say the laundry list of stuff.
And even before they went there, they weren't allowed to criticize any of that on their own podcast in America.
On their own podcast either. W.
Like Tim Dillon originally accepted an offer and he started ranting about how they use slave labor on his podcast and that got him fired. So these comedians have to censor themselves and just say positive things about...
Nick would never. That's one thing I have to say about like people like Nick Fuentes. For the record, this isn't just like an anti-Israel position or anything. Nick Fuentes hates Israel. He would never, ever betray his country to Qatar just because he hates Israel. And I don't like Nick Fuentes, to be honest. I don't know him. I don't really have that much strong of an opinion of him. I think a lot of his takes aren't great, in my opinion, some of them. The ones in foreign policy specifically. But he wouldn't sell out his country like that. Like, even though... And that guy is a radical, far-right guy that is disavowed by everyone. And I don't think he would stoop that low. That's the honest truth. That's how crazy it is. It's like, these people are the respected people. Like, the Bill Burrs? Look at these guys. Every single one of these guys. They're going to launder the reputation of, after... They all have podcasts. Where they condemn Trump. You're going to condemn Trump and then you're going to go dance in front of Saudi royalty? Like, what are we even talking about?
Saudi Arabia. they're basically Saudi shills now. Like, as soon as Chris DiStefano got there, they put a camera in his face and made him talk about how much he loves Saudi Arabia.
I'm loving this country so far. I've been here for about 10 hours. I've eaten more food than you can imagine. I want to know what I can do to become a Saudi citizen. My first time ever, I've never even been to the Middle East. But when I'm here now, I literally am like, why was I always why did I never want to come here? I wish I would have come here 10 years ago.
If this isn't just literally reputation laundering, I don't know what it is. It's crazy. It's wild.
I want to I'd like to start another family in the Middle East and not tell my family back home. I'd like to live 2 lives.
Nice. This is obviously what the festival is mostly about.
Of course. It's propaganda. It's literally propaganda.
I'm doing positive PR for Saudi Arabia. So these comedians will never live this shit down.
For the record, this is exactly the same as like Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, going on the Boys podcast. Right? You go on a podcast with a couple of bros and you talk about Burger King. It's the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing. Absolutely the same thing. It is. Like, if you want to talk politics, if you want to actually get into like serious interviews and stuff, sure, that's fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't be out there interviewing people that you disagree with. But like, what are we doing here? This is just propaganda. There's nothing else to it. It's literally selling out your country.
Like, every comedian that didn't do it is just gonna be busting their balls about it, especially the ones that turned down offers, which is going to be great. You know, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, Bill Burr needs to be roasted for this.
Agreed.
Like, other than Chris, he might be shilling the most so far. It sounds like he really wants to do more gigs there. Like, he does not give a fuck. I mean, he's getting a ton of backlash. His fans are so disappointed. All his comments are negative, and people want to hear what he has to say about it. And he did address...
Bro, his podcast gets 20,000 views? Wait, actually? There's no way. Bill Burr podcast. Bro, there is no way. I'm sorry, he uploads 2 videos a week. He struggles to break 40k views on his videos. There's no way. How is he so irrelevant? What happened to this guy? This is a crazy fall off. He uploads 2 videos a week. And he gets 160,000 views in a month? 160? For the record, this month I got, this is not including YouTube Shorts, because I don't do YouTube Shorts. I got apparently 2.3 million views this week. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude. He's just some woke bimbo.
Said on the most recent episode, but he just talked about how amazing it was and how it's the best thing he's ever done, which is exactly what the Saudis want. Like, this is why they're really paying him, and he obviously wants to keep doing gigs there and making $1.5 million a show. So of course he's gonna go all out shilling for the Saudis.
Of Saudi Arabia is what I've seen, like on the news. I literally think I'm gonna.
That is a crazy meme. Bro, it's the guy from Breaking Bad. Oh my God, he's doing it for his family.
A fucking land, you know, and everybody's gonna be screaming "Death to America!" and they're gonna have like fucking machetes and want to like chop my head off, right? Because this is what I've been fed about that part of the world, right? And we're flying over it. It's nothing but like these long roads and sand. It's like nothing. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck did I get myself into?
They must have hidden their 750,000 slaves underground for when you showed up.
And then we land, and everybody's just regular. They're dressed different, but they're regular. Like people just shooting the shit. Hey, how you doing? Way. You know, welcome. We're saying, hey, we know we're happy to be here. And we're driving around, and then I'm just like going like, I thought this place was going to be like really tense. And I'm thinking like, is that a Starbucks?
Oh my God, dude.
Next to a Pete's Coffee? Next to a Burger King?
His head is empty. Do you know what
next
that smells
to a McDonald's?
like?
Next to a Pizza Hut? Next to a Dunkin' Donuts? Next to a Krispy Kreme? Next to a Cheesecake Factory? Next to a KFC? Next to a Chili's? They got a fucking Chili's over here? Then we go into...
Oh, this is crazy. He's retarded. So now you're for American capitalism? American millionaire, billionaire brands expanding worldwide? Now you're for that? Like, this is insane.
The mall, because I want to get my kids something. There was a Timberland store. I could have bought Timberlands like I was in Brooklyn, New York. And then there's advertisement for like boxing and fucking Formula One and MotoGP and golf and all of this stuff. And I was like, oh.
Estimated number of slaves, 740,000. Yep.
And then it just struck me as funny. It's like, they're eating this shit too. They're going to have to get some bigger fucking clothes. They're going to end up looking like us. So, I go down to do the show, right? And they say, all right, the front 2 rows.
So I'm guessing Nia would have been all smiles here if Trump had offered Bill 20 mil to do a show at the White House then. True! That's Bill Burr and his wife. And that's the purse that Bill Burr's balls are in. Bill, like, you can't see from this angle, but his globules are actually in this purse.
Is going to be all diplomats in these padded seats, and then up top the royals are going to be there. And I could just feel like these fucking people, the Okay, they want a fucking show. You could feel it. I was talking to the other comics. You could feel it. They wanted you to push, right? It was really fucking exciting. So I go up on stage and I start doing my shit and they're fucking into it. Everything's going good. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm checking out the diplomats as I'm doing this stuff and they're all fucking laughing. All right, so I'm going to push a little farther. And all of a sudden I start getting in the zone. This is really amazing. And it was just this great exchange of energy, right? So the Royals loved the show. Everyone was happy. The people that were doing the festival were thrilled.
I'm sure.
And yeah, it was just this great positive thing. And I got to tell you, just to be a part of that.
They pushed the envelope on the jokes, except for the laundry list of things that they signed that they weren't allowed to joke about.
Was fucking.
I wonder if he made any 9/11 jokes. Wonder if they would approve something like that.
Amazing. And the comedians that I've been talking to, just saying like, dude, you can feel.
I wonder if he turned to some royal and was like, hey, you look like a camel, sir. I wonder if that would go over well.
But they wanted it. They wanted you to like the people want, like, you know, they go online and they see it. And they want to like see real stand-up comedy.
Right.
So
can't be a comedian in Saudi Arabia because they will execute you if you're too funny. You know that they did public executions of over 43 people for speech in the last 5 years.
It was a mind-blowing experience. Definitely top 3 experiences I've ever had.
Yeah. So he has 2 children and he's married. So that means at least one of the children or his wedding is no longer in the top 3 because he was paid a fat bag to dance in front of slavers. Dope, based, let's go. He's woke. He's virtue signaling, guys. That's the life.
Some of the comments on this podcast have almost as many likes as the podcast, which is a bad sign. And it has almost 80% dislikes. So he's just getting destroyed here. And like someone said in this podcast, Bill tells us about how Saudi Arabia is not bad because they have American fast food. And would you take a gig in the U.S. where you're not allowed to make fun of Trump? And Bill hates billionaires, but only if they're not paying him.
True.
And all his comments on Instagram are the same. So I think a lot of people are done with him. I mean, his career will probably be fine. You know, his career in Hollywood will be fine. But it sounds like a lot of the fans of his podcast and fans of what he's been saying.
I mean, to be fair, getting canceled doesn't really happen anymore for the most part, especially if you're rich. Only poor people could get canceled, and they can get fired from their job or something and then actually be in trouble. But rich people can't really get canceled anymore. It's actually kind of fake news. Cancel culture doesn't exist if you're rich. And he's rich enough to not need to worry about that. And he's also a recognizable enough face to literally be anywhere. They could put him in a TV show. They could put him in a movie. They won't care. And in fact, they would love it if people hate watched it. Like they literally don't care. Anyway.
The past year about billionaires and wealth inequality are probably done with him. But let me know what you guys think. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out my Patreon. I just posted another Duncan Trussell video because that dude has completely lost it. It's worse than I thought. I mean, he might be the worst at handling criticism. And same thing.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
With Theo Von,
Theo Von's been going crazy. Like, dude, the entire can I tell you something? The entire podcast comedian sphere has got to be one of the saddest, most pathetic, gayest downfalls I have ever seen in all of time. Right, Joe Rogan sitting in his castle of comedy, inviting different comedians to get platforms, and it's insane. Right, Theo Von just released a video saying I am not suicidal. You hear that, Israel? And it's like, all right, dude. Okay, dude. Dude, Israel doesn't know who you are. They're not gonna kill you. I promise. I promise Israel is not gonna kill you. All right. But I'm also not suicidal, and if I die, it was Theo Von. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, man.